Hello friends, it's me, Genevieve123, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another book haul. But Jenna, didn't you just do a huge massive book haul a month and a half ago? Why yes, indeed I did. But since then, I have amassed 31 new books. So yeah, kind of an issue, but it's okay. Starting in July, I'm going on a book buying ban, and I'm going to have like a whole little spiel video to like hold myself accountable by posting it, so that'll be up. But for now, let's just talk about the books that I bought, which I'm happy. I'm really excited for all of them, so I don't feel like that bad. Yeah, so I'm gonna split it up into sections, and I'm gonna try and do timestamps. I don't really know how to, but I'm gonna learn, and I'm gonna try and do them so you can like follow along if you only want to watch like part of it. But they're gonna be books that I've pre-ordered, books I've bought new, books I've bought used, and books I got for free. So that's going to be the sections, and we will start with pre-orders. So I have gotten 3 of my pre-orders in the past bit, and the first one is Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Osman. You've already heard me talk about this one, and honestly all of them, but a brief synopsis is that it's like about like, this one's more so about like teenagers and the things that they're dealing with and how to like be there for like the people that you love, sort of thing. But mainly they're great. I love this series so much. I've talked about so much, I don't know what else to say, but I love them. I get them in the like UK covers just because they come out sooner in the UK, and also I started my collection in that. I do really like the bluey green hue of the US ones, but I have it in UK, so it's staying in UK. The next book I have is Scarlet Sun by Isabel Hansen. I love this book. I actually did read it as well. It's about April, who has this bucket list of things she wants to do before she turns 20, and she's turning 20 later in the summer, so her and her friends go on this road trip to try and check things off, and then she ends up accidentally falling for one of said friends, and it was so good. It is the first book in this, I believe it's going to be a quartet, and it's going to follow each of the girls, and I loved it. It was very good, and yeah. Then I have the Tea Dragon Tapestry by Kate O'Neill. This book is precious. It's the concluding book in the like Tea Dragon trilogy, I guess, and it's a graphic novel about this beautiful, wonderful, whimsical world where it's just all soft and precious, and there's tea dragons, and I just love it. So if you can tell, I've actually read all 3 of these books, so I'm pretty proud of that, and I was really anticipating all of them, and I'm really happy that I have them on my shelves and in my heart, you know? So the next section I'm going to talk about is books that I have bought new. So first off, we have The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is a retelling of the Trojan War through Patroclus's perspective, and I've heard really good things, and I absolutely adored Circe by this author, so I am excited. I'm scared to read it, but I'm excited to read it. I wasn't gonna buy this book because I was looking for this copy, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this copy. I don't know how to. If you know, please let me know, because I would still do it. But this one, I saw it like literally in a Shoppers. It was calling out to me. I had to do it, and I did, and happened to be on sale, which was nice. Then the next 2 I have are Codename Sailor V Volume 1 and Volume 2. These books were on my radar because I read Sailor Moon last year and I did really enjoy it. I'm planning to hopefully watch the anime soon. But these ones were kind of on my radar, but they weren't ones that like were priority for me. But then I was just like searching through used books, and I found this one online. Some person was like, it's $35, no like firm price, I know what I have. And I was like, wait, what? So this one and all of those were available just like in English, just like at my Chapters or Amazon or wherever, right? But apparently this one I think must be out of print or something, because it was so hard to find it. I was like trying to use eBay, which scares me. I don't really know how it works. I was trying to find like some places. I was trying to convince my family to take me like an hour away just to pick up one. It was a whole thing. But because it was hard to find, I ended up like fixating on it, and I had to find it. And eventually I did. I was on Amazon one day, and it just happened to be in stock for like a normal price. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I bought it, and it came, and it's perfectly good. It's great condition. It's not like broken. It's in English, which is what I wanted, so that. These ones are about Sailor V before she's like Sailor Venus, because she was around as like a guardian before these happened, so yeah, those are quite chunkier than the other ones, but I'm excited to get to them. Then I have We Unleashed the Merciless Storm by Taylor K. Miha, and this is the sequel to We Set the Dark on Fire, which I read earlier this month, and I really enjoyed it, so I bought the sequel right away, and yeah, so I can't really say much about this plot, but the other one, it's like this Latinx-inspired island world thing, and the people on the inner island are doing really well, doing great for themselves. The people on the outer island are like suffering through poverty, and it's about this one girl as she's going to this school on the inner island to try and like become, like have a better life for herself, but then she ends up getting like involved in this rebellion and things happen, and I really, really enjoyed the first one. This one I actually did read. I didn't like it as much, but I'm still really happy I got it. Finally, the last book I bought new was The Gilded Ones by Namina Fuena, and this book, it was just stunning. I was in an independent bookstore and I wanted to support them, so I had to buy a book, and I chose this one because it's just so beautiful, and I've heard mixed things about it. It came out earlier this year, and I'm hoping to get to it soon because I think it's the only book I have that was published in 2021 that I haven't read yet. So I'm hoping that I'll read it, and then like that'll be cool. I've read all the books of this year, but yeah, this one is about this world where Adeka, she's living there and she knows that she's different, but on her 16th like birthday, I think, there's this ceremony where they like cut you to see if you bleed, and if you bleed red you're normal, but if you bleed gold you're something else. So she ends up bleeding gold, she's not normal, and I think some whole thing happens from there, and I'm excited. It's a new fantasy series and I think it's gonna be really good. So out of the 5 books that I bought new, I've only read one of them, but I think I'm gonna get to the other ones soon. This one's on my TBR for next month, and these 2 are manga, so I'm gonna be able to read them really fast. But yeah, that's that. The next section is books that I bought and used, and this was my biggest section. There's quite a bunch of them. There's 19 in this section, but I went on like a little trip and we went to visit bookstores when we were there, and so that's why that happened. That's also where I got the Gilded Ones, and yeah, so I'm just gonna get started. The first 4 are all from the same store. So we have Iron-Hearted Violet by Kelly Barnhill, and this one is a middle grade about a princess, and she has really good at telling stories, and they come across some kind of forbidden book, and there's obviously a dragon involved because of the dragon, and it just seems really fun. I also realized after, this is the same author as the person who wrote The Girl Who Drank the Moon, which is one I've been really, really dying to try and read, so I have high hopes for this. I think I'm gonna like it. Then I have another middle grade, and this is The School for Good and Evil by Soman Chinani, and I've heard quite good things about this series. It gives me kind of Ever After High vibes, and I did like it. I was a bit out of age range of After High, but I did still like it. And I believe it's about these 2 possible, are they friends? Yeah, there's these 2 best friends, and there's like a school that you go to. So yeah, they go to the School of Good, a School for Evil, and the 2 friends, based on like the vibes, have an idea of which one they're gonna end up at, but they end up going to the alternating ones, and I don't know, it just seems really good. 6 books. I believe it's actually also gonna become a TV series, possibly. So I'm really excited to get to this one whenever I do. Then I have Dark Light by Leslie Livingston, and I actually already had this book, but I had it in like the mass market paperback size, which does not match the rest of my collection. This one still doesn't match because it has these like flaps and like deckled edges, but it's a lot closer height-wise, so I'm able to actually stack the books properly now, which I'm very happy about. This is the 2nd book in a trilogy, and I haven't read them in a really long time, but the first one follows Kelly as I believe she was like an actress in the like Midsummer Night's Dream, like the Shakespeare play, but then turns out like some of the fairies and stuff from that like world are real, and then like stuff ensues, and I really want to reread these books. I remember loving them when I read them when I was younger, and I'm really happy to have one that actually matches more. So yeah. The final book I got from that store was Ain't Myth Behaving by Katie McAllister, and this book just seemed fun. It just seemed like something I want to try. It's kind of like the spine was like totally cracked open. damage, but like I wanted to just try it out, see what's up, and it was cheap. I believe it's a collection of 2 stories, and they're both about a modern woman and a god from ancient legend somehow, and that seems fun. So the first one is called Stag Party, and it's about an Irish fertility god and an American travel writer. And then the second one is called Norse Truly, and it's about a god, I guess, on a Viking ship, and he rescues a woman that like accidentally drives off the road. So I think these are just gonna be a good time. That's gonna be fun to read these and see what they're up to. Then the next 2 I got from a different, like, independent used bookstore, and the first one is The Deaf by Cody Keplinger. I wasn't planning on ever reading this. I watched the movie and I did enjoy it, but I was like, yeah, I don't know if it's something I gravitate towards. But then I forget which YouTuber I was watching, but one of the people I was watching said that this is like her favorite book, and she rereads it and like got like a paperback because she wants to annotate it, but she rereads it every year. And I was like, well, I guess if you like it that much. And then I saw it later that day in the store. I actually saw it twice. I saw it at that store too, but I didn't end up buying it. But then I went to this store and it was $2 less, and the fact that I was seeing it again, it just felt like it was a sign. So I ended up getting it. Then the next one I got is okay. I got Hans Andersen's Fairy Tales, and it is so pretty. So this book, I don't know when exactly it was published, but there's like a note in it, like I can't read handwriting, but it's somebody gave it as a Christmas gift in 1919. So she's an old book, and it's just like the fairy tales, like Hans Christian Andersen's Fairy Tales, and there's like some illustrations throughout, and I couldn't help myself. It was beautiful, and I'm really happy to have it, although I feel like I have to be so careful with it because it just feels delicate. But yes, and there's like the back, it's like, yeah, so I'm very happy with this one. Then I was scrolling through Depop one day, and I happened to come across a couple of books and got them shipped to me. So yeah, first off we have The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. I've heard really good things about this trilogy, but even better things about the duology she wrote that was in the same world. So I want to start off with the first one and then like go from there if I really like it. This one I believe is about a princess who runs away, and she ends up, I think, meeting these 2 strangers, and one of them is the guy, like the prince that she was supposed to marry, and then the other one is an assassin that was sent to kill her, and I believe she doesn't know which one's which, and neither does the reader, and I just think that's such a cool thing, and I'm gonna like be trying to figure out who does who, and I've heard really good things about this, and I'm actually really excited to get into this trilogy. So then I have The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi, and this book is based off of, like, draws from Indian folklore and mythology, so, like, I'm sold. Whenever a book has some kind of, like, folklore and mythology aspect, like, I'm automatically intrigued. It was blurred by Sarah J. Maas, and it's about this princess who ends up marrying this, like, I guess, other kingdom, I guess, for a political alliance, and there's, like, secrets, and lots of things going on, and it's a duology. And I bought this because I was planning on getting the Fairy Loot July box, and one of the things is based off of this book, so I want to read the book. I don't think I'm actually going to be able to get that box anymore, but I'm still really happy that I have it, and I'm going to be able to read it. Finally, the last book I bought from this person was The Siren by Kira Cass. I read this book last year as an audiobook. I loved it so much, and so I'm really happy to have a physical book. Her selection series I did read, and I also enjoyed it, but I like this so much more. It's about this girl who like almost drowns, and then the ocean saves her and she becomes a siren, so she has to work for the ocean for I forget however many years, and she's not allowed to talk to anyone besides the other sirens, but she wants to kind of have her own life, and she ends up meeting this boy, and things happen, and this book is so good. I really liked it, so I'm really happy to have my own copy and to be able to read it and go through it and hopefully love it as much as I did the first time. Okay, so only a couple more books that I bought used to go. We have An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson, and I also read this as an audiobook I think last year, and I remember I did enjoy it, and an item in the beacon box? Some kind of box that I bought, is fae themed, and there is an item from this book in it. And so I wanted the physical book so then I could, you know, have that. It doesn't really matter that much, but I wanted it, and this person was selling it. And this book is about Isabel, and she's a human, but she creates these portraits for the fae, and she accidentally paints emotion into like one of the high fae's eyes, and that's like a big no-no, I forget, for some reason. And she ends up having to go with him to stand trial for, I guess, her crime of that, and then, you know, things happen. It's a standalone. I really did enjoy it. I also like Margaret Rogerson's other book, Sorcery of Thorns, and again, another book that I think I would enjoy rereading. Then from that same person on Facebook Marketplace, I bought almost the entire Dreaming Sun manga series. I'm just missing the 10th volume, but this is a manga series that's like contemporary, and it's about this girl who runs away from home, and this stranger that she meets ends up offering her a place to stay on these certain conditions, and she agrees, and I believe it's just the shenanigans that occurs. Bad life lesson, don't go live with a stranger, but I think this is going to be really fun. Becca and her books talks about it semi-frequently, so I've heard it from her. It's been on my radar, and it was a good price, so I just went for it. So I have the first 9 volumes of it now, which honestly I'm not upset about. So out of those 19 books, 2 of them were actually books I've already read, so they don't add to my physical TBR, and then the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale book I'm also not going to count towards my physical TBR, so like 3 out of 19. That's not bad. That's fine. Okay, moving on to the last section. These are books that I got for free. So all these books I actually got from the like little libraries around my neighborhood. So if you haven't heard of little libraries, they're basically like these boxes that kind of look like mailboxes, but I mean bigger, and they have like a take a book, leave a book sort of thing, so you can just put in whatever book you want and take out whatever book you want. So I had a bunch of books, like my mom and I, we went around and we gave away a bunch of books that we just didn't like want in our house anymore, and I think I'm gonna go back because I have more books that I'm trying to sell, but if I don't sell them, I'm just gonna shove them in the little library boxes. But when we were doing that, I found some books that were actually interesting. Usually I don't find ones that are too good because they're just books that people, like they're usually older books and just ones that aren't ones that I'm interested in, but these ones were. So I have 5 books that I was interested in. The first one I think is the best find out of all of them, and that is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. No idea why this was in a book box because I've heard only good things about it, but I'm really excited about it. It is like slightly damaged, but honestly, who cares? Like I'll read it. If I really do enjoy it and want like a different copy, then I could just get myself a different copy, but for free, we'll take it. This is about like this Hollywood Scarlett, and she's had like 7 husbands throughout her life, and she's like old now and got this one like no-name reporter to give like her like interview about her entire life and like all like the secrets I guess around her, and I think it's told through like flashbacks as well, and trying to figure out like why she chose this specific reporter and what's up with that. And I've heard really good things. I was gonna listen to it as an audiobook, but when I flip through, there's like little newspaper clippings I guess throughout it, so I'm happy that I like have it physically to read, and I'm just excited. Then I have Wicked Lovely by Melissa Marr. This book, I don't know how good it's gonna be, but I think it's gonna be fun. It is the first book in a 5-book series, so I know I shouldn't have grabbed it, but who cares? It's about Aislinn, and she can see fairies. She always has been able to, but there's like 3 rules, which are like don't stare at invisible fairies, don't speak to invisible fairies, and don't attract their attention. But I think she ends up attracting their attention, and a lot of stuff is on the line, and I just love like fae books and like YA fae like romance urban fantasy things. I just think they're very fun and I enjoy reading them, so I'm hoping that I'll enjoy this one. But yes. Then we have Bad Girls with Perfect Faces by Lynn Weingarten, and this is like a sexy thriller according to the back. It's about Sasha and her best friend Xavier gets together with his ex, but she knows that his ex is like up to something, so she poses as this guy to try and like frame her or something, try and like break them up, but I don't really know exactly why. But it ends up going really wrong, and you have to be careful about who you pretend to be on the internet. And I don't know, it seemed kind of gross because there's like flies on lipstick, which I'm like, ew. But it seemed like interesting. I don't really read thrillers, but you know, I can try. And I feel like this is a decent place to start. Then finally, the last two books from this haul are Bloodsucking Fiends and You Suck, both by Christian Moore. I was attracted to this one because look at that. Like, like the red sprayed edges are stunning, and then like the light blue with the red just looks so good, and I was into it. But then I looked online, like on Goodreads, and I realized that this is actually the second book to this one, and this one also happened to be in the book box. I think somebody just had a vampire phase that they were over with, because there was also like a lot of the Vampire Diaries books in there as well, so I just thought that was kind of funny. But I grabbed these two, and they're like funny love story thing about vampires. So yeah, it's about this girl named Jody, and she ends up becoming a vampire, and then I think she ends up liking this guy Tommy and stuff. I don't really know too much about it, but this one's a sequel, and they seem kind of fun, and it might be fun to read like a bunch of my vampire books and see how I feel about them. But yeah, out of these, I have actually read 0 of them out of the 5, and only one of them was one that I had like on my radar, only the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. The rest were all brand new to me, so that's kind of fun. And that is everything. Those are all the 31 books that I have bought in the last month and a half. Please stop me. I'm gonna buy a couple books tomorrow because it's my birthday, so I gotta treat myself, even though I already obviously just did. But after that, I'm going on a book buying ban. That's it. It's gonna happen. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. Let me know if you have had any success with book buying bans, and if you have any tips and tricks of ways to like really attack your physical TBR and stop yourself from buying new books, or just in general willpower. I don't have much of that, so if you have any tips for me, that would be absolutely amazing. But other than that, again, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you. If you watched this far, leave a vampire emoji down below, like one of those little vampire guys, because in honor of this stunning cover. But yeah, I hope you're having a super lovely day or evening or morning or night or afternoon. I don't know, whatever time it is for you. I hope it's going great. And I guess I'll just see you in my next video. So, goodbye!